Yes, well, it's solidly midweek. Still dark out. Boo and hiss. Yes, anyway, I thought I'd share this clip with you, which is really quite astounding. The Free Speech Union have put up something from an actual expert on education, as opposed to merely a concerned member of the Conservative Party, about the lack therein of indoctrination in schools. So here we go. Here's Dr. Ruth Wareham.
People seem to spot indoctrination everywhere. So not only in schools where teachers are variously accused of the practice for teaching or providing information on religion, LGBTQ plus equality, anti-racism, British values, sex education, singing nationalistic songs. These are all real examples that I've found in the press and more, but we can also supposedly see it in BBC children's TV programmes, Disney cartoons, storybooks, plays, online communities. Essentially, wherever there's any kind of influence, there are reports of indoctrination. Unfortunately, I think that while some of the teaching practices that people label indoctrination may be genuine cases of the phenomenon, many are not. And the term is increasingly bandied around simply to describe the teaching of content the speaker doesn't like or possibly doesn't agree with, doesn't think it ought to be taught. From my perspective, the first thing to understand about indoctrination, at least if you're talking in the educational world, is that it is a form of teaching. It is about intentionally getting or trying to get someone to learn something. The second thing to understand about indoctrination is that it is about teaching for beliefs, as distinct from behaviours, habits, attitudes or dispositions. So I indoctrinate people to believe certain things, but if I want them to do or feel certain things, that would be better described as conditioning. The difficulty is these things come apart conceptually, but they may not come apart in practice. So sometimes people are pointing at something saying that it's indoctrination when in actual fact it's a form of conditioning.
Well, that was blindingly sensible from someone that knows what they're talking about without an axe to grind, isn't it? The other three members of the panel looking shifty and uncomfortable because they're the type of people that the Free Speech Union tends to have on. Why don't we see more of people like this that actually do work in education and know what they're talking about? Well, the answer is because they come out with the wrong answers. They're like me, they come out with the wrong answers. So, we end up with all of these experts, for example, being interviewed in various places, and their expertise appears to be, well, I'm a parent and a member of the Conservative Party. Quite literally in some people's cases, yeah. Or we just end up with these MPs telling us about things that could or may happen. So, for example, the recent thing about banning conversion therapy, which basically anybody involved in young people knows would probably be a good idea, if nothing else simply because of the political signal it sends out, is not now going to happen because we have a moribund, dead from the, ankles upwards Conservative government, and Rishi Sunak can't possibly anger any of his backbench MPs because they'll sign letters against him. So that's not going to happen, and we end up with Miriam Cates, who will just simply tell us that the conversion therapy ban could mean that certain things that bad happen. Yes, I mean, it could open up a portal to hell with demons coming out of it. I don't think it will, and I don't think Miriam is the one who should be telling us about this stuff. What exactly are her qualifications? When was the last time she actually worked in a school? Or indeed something, anything to do with trans people? And the answer is never. But there she is once again. Yeah, nice article in the Telegraph, no questions asked. No questions asked. Anyway, I'm going to hang on to the Good Doctor's clip because it does directly contradict an awful lot of what those pundits, Toby Young at the Free Speech Union, have been saying for years. Yes, teaching a white privilege in schools. Maybe it isn't indoctrination. maybe it's just a PHSE lesson or one about history, Toby. Okay? Don't like it? That's fine, mate. If you want to regulate us even further, you can do that as well. But it probably won't get you what you want. Boo and hiss. Yeah. Indoctrination. Yeah, go to a faith school. Have a look. Jesus.